But right now, we have a very special guest joining us in the studio this morning. And I think this is his first ever radio interview or any type of interview since, I don't know if to call it, since he was fired, dethroned. I don't know. But it's his first interview, I hope. I don't know. I would like this to be an exclusive. We got to say good morning to the former Prime Minister of St. Maarten, Mr. Marcel Gumbs. Good morning, Marcel.
Good morning. Happy to be here. Good morning to you, to Dee, and to all the listeners.
That's right. Now, is this your first ever interview since losing the Prime Minister position? No. I did one. I did one before. Yes. Yeah.
Well, it was right after.
Right after.
Yeah.
Okay, so Marcel Gumbs, welcome to the Super Duppa Morning Show. So I guess you are the reason that we're having this election.
Oh, why everybody's blaming me? I didn't cause it. I just did what I had to do in the best interest of the country, and that is to put the Constitution to a test. And the Constitution is there, solid as a rock, and this is what we got. This is what the Constitution say had to be done.
All right. Now, before we get into the whole nitty-gritty, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh,
yeah. What Marcel is all about, your birthday, favorite foods, I don't know, your track record.
Oh, foods. We need a whole hour to talk about that. About food. Food is one of my passions. I love to eat good food, and I'm also the president of the Bailli of the Chaîne de Rôtisseurs.
Okay.
That's the eating club that we go to every 6-8 weeks. We have a dinner. But Marcel Gumbs was born in Curaçao. Parents from French Quarter. Grew up in French Quarter till about 15 years, and then went to Curaçao, studied electrical engineering. Came back, studied air traffic control. And did 14 years at Princess Juliana International Airport. What else? How do we go from there? Then, got involved with the JC's, Junior Chamber International, one of the best organizations there is in the world for young people. In fact, I owe everything. I owe a lot of what made me to the JC's organization. And entered public life, politics in 1983. And got off of the wave in 2006 by my own choice. Spent 23 years serving this country in different positions. Island Council member of Parliament for 16 years, and also as a State Secretary of General Affairs, Justice, and Interior Affairs for the former Netherlands Antilles.
Okay. So you retired, you called it quits, said, I'm done, 2006. But then you got the call, that magic phone call on that day, hey, we need you to be Prime Minister of St. Maarten. How did that go?
Well, it went a little different. Sorry. I got a call from the governor in 2014, asked me to be together with Joe Richardson. If we would be so good to be the informateurs to try form a government. We did that in 2 weeks, and I said, well, that was good. Good night, bye-bye. And then I was asked by the leader of the UP about being the chef of his cabinet. Considered it a while, and then agreed, and then the next week got a phone call if I would come and be the Prime Minister, serve as Prime Minister. And I think anyone asks you to be the Prime Minister of your country and make a contribution, I think you cannot say no. And I said yes, and we went into office on the 19th of December 2014. You recall that? That's a Friday. We took the oath. And we were called immediately to Parliament. So the next Monday, I was in Parliament about Housing Foundation. So it was quite an interesting period. We were very proud of what we did, what we accomplished, and had a lot of fun doing it, in fact.
Okay.
Would you ever consider doing it again? Please say yes.
No. Look, in life, I've learned to never say never, but no, at this time, I want to move on and do some other things.
Yeah.
In the interest of the country. You don't have to be Prime Minister to work with the interest of this country. You could do a lot of things not being Prime Minister. But I don't expect any calls after the election, and I don't know. I learned to say never say never.
Right.
But no, I don't think anybody will call me. I don't think we got to wait and see who gets elected, because definitely the people that are there, the majority of them they probably don't like my style. I didn't like my style, and that's why they wanted to get rid of me.
Now, being 100% honest, Prime Minister definitely suits you.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Now,
what do you mean suits me? Looks good on me?
Yeah, everything.
now, why do you think? Why don't you think they'll call you back? Aren't you good at what you do? Or
Well, you know, I think they'll have to. The group that gets elected will have to be, you know, from different material. What happened is that we went through a turbulent period in this country. You know, 2010 to now. And there's been too much instability, and I was trying to tell those in the organization, you know, in the political organization, also in the apparatus, the government apparatus, that, you know, the way we're doing things is not the correct way. You got to do it different, you know. And some of them couldn't just deal with that, you know. And you got to have a conscience, and you got to be focused, and you know, really work for the country, and not be there looking at your own interests.
yeah.
Do you think that the political arena is too spoiled?
I wouldn't say spoiled. I think we went in, it became country, and probably there wasn't proper guidance from the beginning. Because if you start off something on the wrong footing, then it becomes norm, and then, you know, it's everybody says, well, this is how we do it, you know. I've had cases as Prime Minister where the organization as civil servants would say, but we are accustomed to doing it so for the last 5 years. I said, but you done it 5 years, but you did it wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember when you got in there, you tried to clean up a lot of mess, and a lot of people didn't like you for that. But you said, listen, this is my job. This is what I have to do in order for St. Martin to move forward.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of people that ended up didn't like you for that.
Well, I can tell. Can I tell you a story?
Yeah, sure.
The first January 2nd. You remember that one? January 1st fell on a Thursday, and I was being bothered as Prime Minister the whole week before. What are we going to do on Friday? I said, Friday?
Come to work.
Friday's a working day. No, but Friday is the 2nd of January, you know, and we're accustomed when Thursday's a holiday, we get Friday off. I said, well, I don't think so. Private sector is going to be working, so why you as a civil servant got to stay home? But that's how we did it, you know. We always had the Friday off. What's the use of coming in Friday? I said, you got to come in and work. If you want a Friday off, then you got to take a vacation day. And, you know, that thing was really serious, because I got a phone call from a guy in Anguilla who got some guest house. And the guy basically was taking a turn at me because I make him lose business.
Wow.
I said, how I make you lose business? He said, yeah, because I had my guest house rented out to some civil servants. They booked from Wednesday to come over and spend a long weekend, and now you're going to make them come back to work on Friday. I said, but I didn't stop them. If they want the Friday off, take a vacation day.
Yeah.
I mean, and those are the things that was, you know, had to be changed around. You know, and it's a change in mentality. And we got to realize we're a country now. We're not joking. This ain't no joke. We got to behave as a country. And being country is not only the politicians, it's everybody, you know, and I say everybody, I mean everybody, including the media, the civil servants, everybody. When you get up in the morning, you got to go and work.
Everybody needs to be held accountable.
Everybody needs to be accountable for what they do.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, I don't know what to call you, former Prime Minister or just Marcel. Let's just call you Marcel.
Just Marcel.
So Marcel, December, you guys, took office. You started your job and working for the people of St. Martin. Then September comes, and you're out of a job, or a motion is passed saying that there's no confidence in you anymore. How did that whole story go? What happened? What went through your head when you got that call?
Well, first of all, I think I've said it before, but I'll share it with you again. We were pretty well prepared for that, because I learned one thing in being in government. You know, always be prepared for the worst, and always be on guard. So from February, I sense in the coalition that there might be a day will come when I would need to there'll be a shake-up and so. And I said clearly, we're going to have to use anybody that Parliament. If the majority come now, we will be prepared and have the resolutions ready according to Article 59.
Okay.
Article 59 means that the government can dissolve Parliament and send them home. And, the whole thing is this. Let me explain that first. We have a constitution that's a very good, watertight constitution so far, pretty good. And we have a parliamentary democracy system that we copied from the Dutch, and a lot of countries have it. And Article 59 is the article to discourage ship jumping, because it works like this. Yes, Parliament is the highest body. They represent the people. They're elected. If they bring a motion, the majority bring a motion against the government, okay, then the government, Article 59 gives the government the authority to say, Parliament, wait a minute. You brought a motion against me. I got two choices. I could pack up my bags and go, or I can make use of Article 59, dissolve Parliament, call for new elections. It's one action with a reaction. Parliament says, I don't have confidence in you. The government says, you know what? Okay, but let me see if the people got confidence in you. And then you go to elections. So if on Monday the people goes out and elect all the 15 or the 8 who brought the motion, and all of them are re-elected to Parliament, then it's fine. Then the people have decided. Yeah. Then I dust off my pants, pick up my marbles, and continue on with my life.
But now it's
so what happened? So we were prepared. We knew, because we sensed it. And like I said, when you got experience in government, you're always prepared. So from February, we had 3 drafts resolutions made up to dissolve to use Article 59. And on the 30th of September, in fact, we were in New York.
So you weren't even here?
No, I wasn't here.
Oh.
I was 32,000 feet in the air on JetBlue going into San Juan, Puerto Rico.
When that motion was passed?
Yeah. I'll tell you a little story to that. I was in New York with the King and the Dutch Prime Minister, the Prime Minister from Aruba and Curacao. And we had heavy discussions, and we were there also with CARICOM countries. We were working together with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, lobbying to get votes for the Kingdom to get this seat on the Security Council. And we left New York, we were going to Puerto Rico. And off of Florida, my assistant was sitting next to me, and the plane started to really turbulence,
That was a sign already.
You know what? It's the same time it was happening here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I turned to my assistant, I said, you better wake up, because we're going through the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, gosh.
And, and this is where planes disappear, and we might never come back. And we got out of the turbulence, and we landed in Puerto Rico, and that's where we found out. The phones went crazy. 36 messages on one phone, 42 on another phone.
Wow.
Telling you that,
you lost your job, you got a job.
You bring emotion and confidence against you. And it passed, So we said, okay, very cool. We went to the gate and called the office and tell them, arrange a council ministers meeting for the night, and call the governor. I told the governor, expect a resolution 8 o'clock that night on his desk. So because we were prepared, we had a resolution.
Right. I think and you said you had these since February.
Yeah, I had them since February. Prepared. So we got in, and we tweeted the resolutions a bit, and went to council at 7. Took a decision, the council ministers, and sent it up to the governor. All the governor had to do is countersign, because that's what the governor does.
Right.
And of course, there was a difference of opinion. Some people thought I should have just packed up my bags and go. And you know what? As part of the educational process, there are some countries in the world that in their constitution is stated that for a motion of confidence to be brought against the government, the motion must be presented, and within a period of time, a week, 2 weeks, a debate will be carried in Parliament on the motion. So the debates that certain countries' constitution has, that the debate must take place. And the respectful thing to be done was to call government and have a debate on your concern why the government has to go.
Right.
Well, that didn't take place. And honestly, if the Parliament had called us, the Council of Ministers, and say, come to Parliament, we have a debate, and defend yourself. These are the accusations against you. Defend yourself. If that was done, and the motion still is brought against us, we would have just given them the keys, and say, here's the keys to the government building. Go have fun, and we go do our business.
Right.
But the fact how they did it really triggered us to go ahead and make use of Article 59 and dissolve and call elections.
Now, were the reasons ever outlined why they didn't have any confidence in you?
The motion, everybody who has read that motion, trying to find the reason. It's one of those very cloudy cloudy
Very
motions,
vague.
you know, very vague and all that. But you know, it happened already. The vote was taken, and you know, people like the governor, they say, "Well, why just move out?" I said, "No, over my dead body." I said, "So y'all got to bring the police to get me out of the building." Yeah.
All right, chain him down.
Nah,
Thou shalt not be moved. Now,
no, I'm
Yeah.
have gone, but just sign my resolution. Come
Yeah.
to sign my resolution so we can dissolve parliament and get elections going. In fact, elections had to be held on the 9th of February. And
right, that was the thing. But okay, now a lot of people are saying, okay, you had the choice. You had the choice to either pack up your bags and go, and then they form a new government, and then we move on, and then elections would have been when it was supposed to be, not now, but 2 more years from now, as it usually is. Or you took the decision to, dissolve parliament and then call for snap elections, which would have actually cost the island, as we've seen, it's costing us money that we already don't have.
how much money is costing us?
I don't know. I haven't seen the invoices, but I know
to organize the election.
Yeah, I mean, I know it would have cost the island money for sure.
To organize the election, the government, the budget. When I left to organize the election was 110,000 guilders. Peanuts compared to having people in there who would continue doing what they were doing. If we didn't call for snap election, trust me, the aid that is in there by a year, there would have been a switch again.
You think so?
But I know the culture of the people. I know their behavior. I know how I get to know them very well because that's how it is. Just pay attention. Just pay attention to the fighting and the bickering that's taking place in this coalition now between one party and the Minister of Finance.
Right.
But if during a campaign this is going on, imagine under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
During a campaign, you're supposed to be working together, right?
True.
You're a coalition.
You are a coalition.
And if there's trouble, if there's stress, you keep it inside, you keep it indoors, you know. And the minute you start hanging out your dirty clothes, I mean, it's about to explode.
Something is wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
something is wrong.
Now, we've heard a lot too, also during this whole thing with the Article 59, and they were saying that you were holding the government and the Constitution hostage.
No,
and saying it's illegal what you're doing.
well, listen. Let me explain something. When in February, when I felt what was going on, and I requested the 3 resolutions to be drafted, I took the 3 resolutions and I sent them to a professor. Okay, I said, tweet these for me, and they came back with some changes and everything and ready. I wasn't holding nobody hostage. In fact, I was being held hostage because the governor, the role of the governor is to sign resolutions.
I remember that.
If there's something in the resolution that the governor finds, or his cabinet finds, that is against the Constitution or against the Dutch kingdom or against anything, and he doesn't want to sign it, then there's a next procedure. Use Article, I think, 12 or 13 of the Rules of Order of the Governor. Take it and send it to Holland.
Right.
And let the kingdom government decide on it. It's very simple. Okay? And that the governor did not choose to do that. And then he brought in 3 judges and to give an evaluation and all that. And at the end, what happened?
You still have to sign it.
They still had to sign it.
Yeah.
So I was right all along. They still had to sign, and elections were held. Then, the group of 8 went in and convinced the governor to move the day from the 9th of February to the 26th of September. And what was the reason for that? Oh, we're going to bring reform.
Yes.
We reform to avoid ship jumping. Okay? It was made. It was proposed. And where it had to go? It had to go to the Netherlands. It went to the Netherlands. The Dutch government said, you're crazy. You can't. What you doing here? You're creating 2 types of members of parliament. The Council of advised against it. So what happened? No reform came on to avoid ship jumping. And I'm going to tell you something else. And I want to encourage Marcel people to let us stop talking so much and start reading. And read about other countries and read about other structures, read about other constitutions. You cannot legislate anything. You cannot put any law in place to avoid ship jumping.
There's no law.
You cannot make the law because ship jumping is to the person. Ship jumping is to avoid ship jumping, you got to get strong people. Okay? And this thing about one party winning 8 seats or 10 seats to avoid ship jumping. You can have 10 seats.
And you
but if you have a devil out there who every day is telling, okay, 5 or 6 of your members of parliament, boy, look what happening. Look how bad they treat you. They ain't good. Come on this side. The grass green on this side. If you get that every day in your head, okay, at a certain moment, if you're not strong enough, you're going to weaken, you're going to buckle, and you're going to jump ship. Let me tell you a story. When I talk about strong minds and strong personalities, if you don't have it in life, you better start looking for it. Okay? Look in the mirror and talk to yourself and get that strong feeling within yourself. When I was responsible for the prisons in the Netherlands Antilles, we had a prison guard on Curacao. And every night he was on the corridor responsible for that section. And that's why we found out it's important to switch them around, because every night he was there. 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, the prisoners will start to work on his mind. Okay? Work on his mind. And you know what, how they'll do it? Very simple. They talk to him. Look at you. You're here wasting sleep, looking at us. And while you're here looking at us, a fella with a red Mustang in your house with your wife. If you keep hearing that every night,
you're going to start to believe it.
Every night you're hearing that. And the prisoners tell you, and they're abusing you. Tell you, and the fella this one. And the fella got another cat. He got a blue Mustang now. And, you know, it works in your head. You know what happened to that guard? The guard started reporting sick. Going doctor, he started losing weight. Okay? He started losing weight. And then he not showing up to work. When they called his home, the wife said he left, well dressed and everything. He gone to work, and he's not showing up to work. You know where they caught him one night, in the bushes in front of his house with a gun.
Wow, just
waiting for the guy who the prisoners is messed up his head.
This guy that never existed.
The guy that never existed. So the same thing in politics. If you got somebody every day telling you, look what you doing, and you ain't get nothing, and they ain't give you nothing, and you're this, and they getting everything, and they sharing up the money here, and they ain't giving you nothing. If you get that in your head every day, at a certain moment you say, but this story is right, and then you say, bye, let me go, and you're gone.
Yeah.
So the point is, we got to get strong people in Parliament that has character, and that if things are if they're being bullied, because it's bullying. That's bullying, okay? Political bullying, okay? And you got to be strong to resist that. And then if you learn that if you have a problem with your party, discuss it.
Within the party?
Within your party.
Yeah.
Okay? And if it's about an issue that you don't want to, you can't vote for it, tell your party, abstain from voting. You know, tell you a story what happened in Belgium. In Belgium, there was a time when and if you talk in certain circles, they tell you always the Belgium model. You know what's the Belgium model? In Belgium, the Parliament of Belgium decided to pass a law on abortion. I think it was abortion. The king of Belgium had a problem with it. He couldn't. He felt within himself he couldn't sign it. Okay? You know what happened? He resigned for a day. He resigned. His son, the prince, became king, signed the law into place. The son resigned the next day, and his father came back. Because the father morally could not have, with himself, agreed to co-sign that law to make it into law. So he resigned for a day, and his son became king for a day. The son didn't have a problem with it morally, signed it, and went ahead, and the father came back the next day. History, Google it. It's there, it happened.
All right. What about the perception of parliamentarians owning ministers?
Totally out of whack. I mean, you don't own nobody. You don't own, you know.
But does it happen? Was it happening?
Yeah, is it?
Well, now they claim it. That's my minister, and he got to do what I said. No, everybody they should be working a team effort. You see, there's the whole thing. We've gone on the wrong perception that your own thing, and this is my minister. There's a unit, okay, and you can be in a government. We have been. I remember once the Democratic Party of Somalia being in a government of the Netherlands Antilles without a minister. It's not that you got to have a minister to get something done. It's agreements. You make political agreements. I will get this done. I'll support you without a minister.
Right.
As long as, this is the program that I want carried out and so, and the different ministers will carry it out. But this thing that you own, I've never heard of it. I mean, it's talked about now, but you don't own,
But there is the perception that certain parliamentarians put certain ministers in certain places so they can get things done for them.
Well, no, but that's wrong. You got to get things done for the country.
True.
And along the way, yes, there might be a little few things that you need done, in your own circle, but you don't own the minister. You're supporting the government. The minister is there to serve everybody. Yeah. And that's wrong.
And
true.
Yeah, go ahead, G.
But I'm saying true, but that perception is, well, you looked out for me, Marcel. You made me a minister, so I got to look out for you. One hand washes the other. Well, you took care of me, so now I got to take care of you.
Well, you see, that's the wrong perception. Look, there's when you become minister, you got to have within yourself to know that I'm there. I was proposed by a party, but actually, the majority is supporting me. That's a trend of thought that we got to get into. That there's a unit, a group support, not just one. So what you can tell the other one if they come in,
Do you think we should have a way where if you're proposing somebody for a minister, they have to meet certain specifications? Because sometimes you get somebody just out of the blue. I'm going to appoint D, Minister of Telecommunications.
Yeah.
Only thing D knows is a cell phone.
Yeah.
And all jokes aside, only thing she knows is a cell phone.
And the reason that she's chosen is because she's going to pass the screening because she doesn't have anything bad.
She has no criminal record.
Yeah, so...
well, the normal thing would be to get somebody in a portfolio that they are familiar with.
Right.
With what the runnings and...
That's what would make sense.
Of the portfolio. Sometimes it's difficult to find that person. But with time, you can take a crash course, and you got to be able. It's about leadership, okay? You got to be able to lead your ministry. You got to be able to lead the people around you.
That is the role of a prime minister, right? Or no?
Or any minister.
Any minister.
Any minister.
Okay.
The prime minister is responsible for the cabinet for everybody, and some people didn't like my style, but they wasn't accustomed to it. So. We were asked to become prime minister, and the ministers we had only, most of them were non-politicians, and we went in to run a government and govern this country to turn the country around and to make it better. The group that went in, the style of the way they are governing is to win the next election. There's two different styles,
Right.
You can govern to turn the country around, or you can govern and do things, spend the money, and try win the next election.
Look good to win the next election.
Look good. And, we're accused, they had money there and they didn't spend. Well, you got to be responsible. You got to have some money put away somewhere in case of a hurricane, or you got to have some money saved somewhere. You just can't go inside and run the ship of spend all the money. Right or wrong.
Absolutely.
So there's two different styles of running the country. The way they're doing it now is to win the next election. You see it. I mean, they've talked about camera projects. How many cameras we got up?
Yeah.
One camera went up on the boardwalk. They probably took it down, but we start up a project. Where the rest?
Right.
When are they coming? With the Chinese? I mean, we're talking. I'm not running. I'm not a candidate, but I think I got to get this off because you got to try open the people's eyes and see. We got balanced budget for 2016. Wow, great thing. 2016, a balanced budget. Guess what? The first quarter. You remember what the first quarter results was? What CFT said? First quarter, January, February, March, your income is below what you projected, and your expenditures are way over what you projected. First quarter. What did Minister of Finance say? Don't worry. Second quarter going to be better because in April we're going to get more income. Come on. Tell me a country in the Caribbean that gets more income in April than in January or February, because that's your peak. That's your tourist.
Right.
Okay? Good. We gonna know. Second quarter come. April, May, June. What CFT said?
Same thing.
Same thing. Your income is below projections. Your expenditures are way past. So where's the balanced budget? Is it going to get better in the third quarter? No, it's going to get worse in the quarter. And what's going to happen in the fourth quarter? So these are things. So what's the sense of saying, I have a balanced budget, 2016, I'm the first one. And what's the result?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the financial results? Where are the reports? Did your balanced budget really balance? Mm-hmm. Or was it just a perception of, I'm going to raise the income and lower costs?
Yeah. Now we talked about electoral reform, and there's no way to stop ship jumping, as you say.
Article 59 is to discourage ship jumping.
Discourage ship jumping.
Yes. You can take this. You can take this to the supermarket. Mm-hmm. In life, let me explain something about legislation. There is no country, there is nowhere, no parliament that you cannot legislate everything.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot legislate everything. There's a few things that you have to leave up the way it is. Mm-hmm. Imagine if you go legislate everything. Then they're going to tell you what color shirt to wear. You can't do it. And this one, I want to find somebody who's going to tell me they make a legislation to avoid ship jumping.
Yeah.
Because a few things to remember. In our Constitution, nowhere you will find the word political parties.
Mm-hmm.
Our Constitution does not recognize political parties.
It's individuals.
It's individuals, okay? And when you take an oath, okay, you take it that you say you're going to do according to your heart, to your conscience and everything. So you can't legislate that. And you cannot create, and this is what the proposed reform that was shut down was proposing, to have two types of members of parliament. You can't have a member of parliament because you belong to a political party. The political party is going to form a government. Mm-hmm. But you who break away, who has the same powers in the parliament, you can't form part, you can't be in the formation of a new government. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work. Mm. Okay. All over the world, people just change.
Right.
Republicans have become Democrats. Democrats have become Republicans. On the French side, they had ship jumping over there.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't lead to new elections, though. That's the thing. It doesn't.
No, that's because the French side is a little different because you will have to get more people to move across.
Okay.
Because in the French system, due to the fact that they have a runoff election, okay, because in the French system, at the end, the last runoff, only the two biggest parties is going to participate.
Right.
So your buffer zone, okay, and your freedom in your legislative is much bigger. So you have a bigger a buffer zone. So let's say maybe 6 or 8 people have to jump ship at the same time to throw on the government.
Wow.
Yeah, on the French side.
Okay. All right.
But at the end of the day, I'll wait patiently to see who's the one that's going to come up with a legislation to avoid ship jumping. Ship jumping is in your heart as a person elected.
Yeah.
And you got to be strong, and be able to say no to the bullying, the political bullying that takes place and that has taken place more so since 2010, where one person or a group keep pumping in your head. I've experienced it, and I can tell the people of St. Maarten, every time a delegation of parliament went somewhere for an EPOC meeting or anywhere Palatino meeting, it would rumble. Because they get them away and the bullying will start over there. Boy, you better do this. Boy, you see this. Boy, look where that fella living, son, and look where you live in an apartment and what you get from him. And this is what's been going on. Yeah. Let's be honest with ourselves. No. So we have to elect people that are strong, and those that get elected on Monday, I got one advice to them. Okay? When you get elected, first of all, take a week out and be with yourself, okay? Build yourself, find out who you are, and then get familiar with the rules and regulations of the parliament and of the country, the different constitutions, different laws and things, and be strong, because there are going to be people out there. First of all, when you get elected, you'll become all of a sudden a VIP. You're gonna get more invitations to go more dinners and more this and more that and more other thing. Just don't jump for it, you know. Just be normal. Try to be normal. Stay with your feet on the ground. Because once you start getting invited in this one and you all of a sudden you become important, you're going to start floating. You know, you'll be off the ground and you'll be vulnerable to any offer that comes around. Be strong.
Do you think another coalition will be formed and they will throw down government?
I think, I do not see at the moment any party getting full out 8 seats to form a government by themselves. That would mean that we will need a coalition. I would hope that the people that get elected and form a coalition will be strong and take their responsibility serious and work. And if there's differences, you know, discuss it. Discuss it. If it gets to a boiling point, always look for counsel. You know, it's like a marriage. You know, if you want marriage to last, look, it's gonna be bumpy roads. Tell me, I've been on it, you know. Yeah. But you gotta be able to talk to each other, and if it doesn't help, go and get counsel. There's political counsel, just like that marriage counsel. Talk to somebody who's been around, and talk to a friend of the other guy and say, listen, you know, tell him, you know, bring us together close or whatever, and get over that hurdle and keep on going. But just don't be breaking down government every minute for petty things. Yeah. For petty things. You know, if a government falls on an issue of policy, you say, okay, that's
understandable.
Fine. Understandable. But from 2010 to 2016, all the government, did anybody tell you why they jumped ship?
No. That's my next question. Without calling names.
Did anybody tell you why I left?
No.
Well, so the people got to hold them responsible.
Right.
If you're going to jump, look, if there's an issue, if there's a debate going on an issue, let us say euthanasia or abortion. Let's say somebody come up with this great thing and we're going to pass a law on abortion, and you know,
death penalty, something.
Death penalty, whatever.
Right.
And you can't deal with it, okay? Or even agreement on a budget, or cuts in a budget.
Yeah.
You know, the Minister of Finance or whoever wants to cut the education budget, and there's no agreement there reached. And the minister said, no, I'm not going to, I'm going to continue cutting the budget. Then majority can say, you know, because the minister is not paying attention and he's cutting the budget of education, for that reason, we're going to throw down government.
Yeah.
But every government that fell, everybody that changed, did they ever tell the people why?
No. Give us some reasons. No. Give us some reasons why. Give me one reason why
No. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. So the people, and this is where I'm not criticizing the press, but our press, trust me, has to step up to the plate. They have to improve. Okay? We have to first of all, our reporters, okay, our reporters that we have in this country, okay, whether they're running a
blog, a newspaper,
a blog,
or news site,
the bloggers, the bloggers and the reporters and things should go and take some courses to know what question to ask and how to ask it, and to know the structures.
And create an unbiased report.
Try to create unbiased. You can have your little preference. You can be a little left-leaning, ideology-wise, a little right-leaning. I ain't talking about political now. I mean ideology-wise.
Ideology, right?
Yeah. We don't. Something we don't talk about here neither. Ideology.
Yeah.
You know, everybody gets up, but report it and follow it and be critical. Be critical of the performance of the elected officials. You know, just don't. I mean, look, they beat up on me plenty, but I don't mind. I mean,
you tell them jump out of the bridge. Tie your rope and then jump out of the bridge.
Well, you know, yeah, that was a but you know, because you know what, it didn't bother me because I know I was doing the right thing. You know, all along. You know, but the press have to step up to the plate, pull up their socks, and be responsible also because they have a role to play also.
Of course.
And just not...
They also help create the perception of what's going on.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. And it's dangerous, especially when the media but the media can help create a perception.
The media can
it's
help.
It's very
create,
dangerous.
And I don't know how to say it differently, but you get the impression that certain the medias are more interested in the commercial activities than in the editorial activities. You know, and you know, we got to find a way to. In this country, that's the area we need building on too. You know, get some young people encouraged to go and become real professional journalists, and that they are paid well also. Yeah, you know, that they don't have to be going from one unit to the other. You know, I mean, they got some people they just rotate, you know, through all the media houses.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But that's a different chapter.
Yeah. And there's a little problem here on the island. I don't think a lot of people know, since we became country, St. Martin, since 10, how government actually works. You have people running for parliament telling them things that they will do, which is actually the role of a minister, and it's confusing the people as well.
Yeah.
You know, so I think definitely need also the people of St. Martin need a crash course, and the media needs to come out and create that perception that, okay, this is what government is. Since 10, this is parliament, this is the role of parliament, this is the council of ministers, this is the role of that, this is the governor, this is the role of a governor when it comes to St. Martin.
That's why he said we have to read our Constitution.
We got to read. Look, we last Saturday, was it Saturday last?
2 weeks ago, you had the
JCI live. They asked Duncan, Minister Farmer Roland Duncan, and myself, and you know, I was telling G Money a while ago, and the lady in front. You know, we did that a whole day, and we took some time preparing, you know, you got to prepare. But it was one of the most fulfilling days because the young candidates on the slates, they came out. We had 20-something people there, and they really participated, and they were asking questions, you know, and, you know, it was good. And don't forget, we did it 2014. When I say me and my consultancy, we did a lecture the night at USM. You remember that one? Educate before you postulate.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, and that tape of that program, I mean, it went, viral? I mean, it went viral. Everybody was using it, and it was even asked and went to station and used, because we have to share knowledge, continue sharing knowledge, and build people. Okay. And the idea that 2 months before election, a month before election, you go get on a list, it doesn't work. You got to sit down and think and plan and say, you know what, next year or the next election, I'm going to be a candidate. I'm going to start preparing myself, because when you start to prepare for a position on a slate for Parliament, the least I expect you to have read is the rules of order of Parliament.
Right.
Okay, that's the least. If you're going to a volleyball game to play volleyball,
you need to know the rules.
You ain't going to find out what the rules are. If you're going to a cockfight, you ain't going to find out what the rules is in the cockfight. So the same thing in Parliament. I want to run. First thing you got to do is rules of order. When I was 1983, when I was asked to go to Curacao to be an observer in Parliament, I asked, what should I bring? Mr. Wati said, you know, I would like for you to go observe in Parliament. I said, what should I bring? He said, bring a passport to identify yourself. Okay, fine. When I was leaving, he said, oh, I forget. He said, here, read this before you go down. I said, what is this? He said, this is the rules of order of the Parliament. This is the Bible of the Parliament. He said, once you know this, nobody can fool you in Parliament. Once you know this, you don't got to study everything, you know, but you got to know what it is, and you got to, when you're on the plane or when you're doing nothing, you get up in the morning and now you can't see, read. Just read a couple chapters out of it. Yeah. Be prepared. Okay? Another thing, everybody going to do this. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to take healthcare there. The approach should be different. The press asks you what you're going to be doing. You say, look, I am on a list. I'm on list XYZ. I'm a candidate there. We have a program. Okay? My job in Parliament will be to carry out the program that the government has agreed upon, the coalition has agreed upon.
Right.
And in there, yes, there's things, because you have made your contribution. Because you're going in, I'm going to fix child care, I'm going to fix the 6 months contract. You can't fix nothing by yourself.
Right.
Nothing. Because you're working in with other people.
You got to work with 14 other people.
You got to work with 14 other people. Okay? And you got the art of politics. You know what's the art of politics? Compromise. Compromise to getting together and to move forward. Because your idea, in the States they call it working together, crossing the aisle. That's what Hillary says all the time. I can cross the aisle and work with everybody. You know?
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what we're going to get done. You think you're going to go in there and say, I get 600 votes, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get rid of the 6 months contract.
Yeah.
No.
Don't work that way.
It don't work that way. You got to say to the reporter or to the people, I am with a party, this is our program, I will be one, if we elected, I will be one that will be fighting to carry out the program of my party.
Yeah.
This individual thing, one going to fix the road, one going to do this, and one going to do that. Come on. Wake up.
Yeah. And it's like an old...
It's an old cliche.
And it's interfighting within your own party because you have a different ideology and a different stance and a different vision than everybody else in your party.
Correct.
That it doesn't make sense. And I think that's a problem with a lot of the parties here on the island. And that's something we spoke to with Mr. Benjamin Bell.
I heard you did.
A lot of the parties here on the island, they're set up. You have 23 candidates on some, and a lot of them do not have the same ideology. So you have a party with everybody that it's like a jambalaya. You have different ingredients.
Yeah.
It tastes good, it sounds good, it smells good, but it doesn't work, you know, because everybody has a different ideology. Whereas you could just have a party with everybody on the same line, and then you have more stability.
Can I say, instead of ideology, can I say own agenda? Does that sound better? No?
Some people here got their agenda. Ideology is what you believe in. Look, if you believe in, let me give you an example. If you believe in small government and less attention to social issues, then you're considered a right. Okay? If you're for big government and taking care of people, more social programs, this that, you're considered left. What's the guy? Bernie Sanders. Let it burn. Yeah, Bernie. Yeah. And that determines where your ideology is. Most people would be a centrist. So which means you
straight down the middle.
In the middle, you look at your social issue, you look at your conservative issues, and you get them going. But what you get is that the thing with the Christian party, I heard when you asked him about separation of church and state.
Right.
You know how that term came about? Because before, in the olden days, church
was the government.
Was the government.
Yeah.
The church was the government. In Curacao, at a certain time before we got autonomy, the Catholic the Catholic Party, Katholieke Volkspartij, the Catholic People's Party, was the reigning party. I mean, they tell you in Curacao from in those days, every Friday the bishop would write up his letter and share it out to the priest. And on Sunday, the priest would read the letter message from the bishop. And in that message, if it was election was on Mondays, and the priest would read up the bishop's message in church on Sunday morning. And at the ending, of course, there'll be a little line there to tell you. First of all, the letter will give you a state of affairs of the country. No rain ain't fall and this, that, and the other. And then the priest is going to put in the line there. Please, tomorrow, remember, vote for the KVP, the Catholic People's Party.
Yeah.
And then when we got autonomy and the Protestants came in, the young kids in them, they changed it. And elections went to traditionally the Friday. So church before, the trias politica that we have now, where we have three independent sections, the parliament, government, council ministers, and judicial. Okay, these are things that was designed back in, after the French Revolution thing, to bring stability into the governing of countries. And we got many countries is based on that. The trias politica, where The parliament can't influence what the judicial is saying. The judicial can't influence what the parliament is saying, legislative is saying, and the legislative can't interrupt what the government is saying, the executive is saying. You understand? Imagine if the executive got to every day listen to what the legislative tell them.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to what you're saying about, I own a minister, and then the minister got to do what I say. No, there's independence.
Right.
The three systems: judicial, legislative, executive. And that's how you get good representation and good running of a government. The minute one of them start influencing the other one, you got chaos.
Yeah.
Because then the judicial will not be independent. So you'll have judges being influenced by the executive or by the legislative, given sentences influenced by the two others.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
All right. We have Marcel Gumbs right here live at the Laser 101 studios. We're running out of time. I know G has to do his show. But one quick question. I know your former colleague was here, Claret Connor, was here with us this morning. He brought up a pretty good point when it comes with the Council of Ministers working together with also government-owned properties. We always hear, GB has this amount of money it has to give to the government and tell them and this and that and that. How does that relationship work now?
Well, you see what happened. We have have always had a situation where you get a shareholder rep. So they're government-owned companies, and this has become a political football, between the politicians. And so, I want to be in government, okay? We're going to break government, but you know what? I want the harbor. Or if you get in the harbor, I want the airport. I want GB.
I want that.
And in our government, what we implemented was that there would be no minister that will be a shareholder rep. Okay? The Council of Ministers, unit in its totality, is the shareholder and the shareholder rep. Only if there's a reason for the council, if the council feel that a minister has to go and deal with something with the company, the council will assign that minister to go for this purpose to the meeting with the company and come back and report. But not that continuously the minister is doing as he wants as shareholder rep and the rest of the government don't know.
Right.
We worked as a unit, and I think it showed well, because then every minister know what is taking place in the company.
But wasn't you guys one of the first to invite all the companies together?
We invited the companies together, and then we had when we had shareholders meeting, all the ministers would be there. So every minister knew what was happening in the company. In that way, it's continuity too, because you need, as a council of ministers, you need to know what's going on as a unit, because tomorrow you don't want to hear, and we've heard it before, a minister will say, well, I don't know what's going on in that company because the shareholder rep didn't report. No, you're the shareholder. You're part of the shareholder. You got to know what it is, what's going on.
Yeah.
And just don't leave it up to one minister to go and deal with the company, because then you get confusion. And then you get that the others don't know what's going on.
Right.
We try to keep everybody together. The company coming, whether it's TLM, Winner, GB, or whatever, you come. When you come, you ain't meeting one minister. You're meeting the entire council of ministers.
Okay, now, Marcel, Waji, September 26th, election prediction. What is your election prediction?
I don't know if I'm going to go down that road.
Let's go
down the road.
You want me to pave it for you?
Not an easy road.
No, I'll be honest with you. I've passed to a few rallies. I think the attendance is low, at least the public attendance. But then I'm told that there's a new way of campaigning via social media. Yeah. I'm not on social media. I'm sorry.
Not yet.
Not yet. But I think the important thing and the message I like to tell the people is go out and vote. Please go out and vote. You have a responsibility, and not to get emotional or anything, but there's a lot of countries in the world. People are fighting for this right to vote. And the wars and what's going on in the world. Just look at CNN. And we have a great opportunity, a right. It's sacred, man. Go out and vote. Vote for, whoever you think is going to do well. And I think, I hope the young people on the slates will do good, will do well, because I think it's time that, we start bringing in some new blood, really.
Yeah.
But do you think the new blood is ready to take on a country?
Yes, they're ready. I think they'll be ready, and they can get ready very fast. They don't have to. All they need to do is get good people around them, and be open and be honest, and take advice and listen. And trust me, when I went in, I didn't know everything.
Right.
I didn't know everything. And the young ones, all I can encourage you is to read, and you're not an expert in everything. And as a parliamentarian also, Parliament is the best place for any young person to start. Because in Parliament, because you're in Parliament, you get all the laws, all the information from all the ministries goes to Parliament. Okay? And that prepares you for a very, very wide vision of what government is about. So go out and ask questions. I'll tell you a story. When I was in Parliament of the Netherlands Antilles, my background was aviation, air traffic control, airports and all that. And we had an issue here. Some taxman came down and found the old tax that says 8% added value. I don't know, you're probably too young to remember that, but it meant that on the books there was a law stating that 8% of the value of your house would be added to your income, and that will be your taxable income. It's an old law that some guy find that was adopted in the system from the Dutch, because in the Dutch, in Holland, nobody had no house. Everybody lived in apartments, small, and it was a rental thing in Holland. Difficult to buy a house in Holland up to now.
Right.
So you're continually renting from a housing project. So ownership, there was discouraging ownership of housing. Here in St. Martin, the first thing when you were young, you want a house.
You build a house.
And the bigger the better. We built a house with 4 bedrooms, and we only got 2 children. You know? And then you get lost in it. So it became an issue, and we had to change it. The pressure came on me. Go down Curacao, you're in Curacao, we put you there. Go, change the law. I never studied taxes. Okay?
Right.
What I did, I went to all the offices they had here, the tax offices, the KPMGs, the PWCs, and all them. And we got a team together, and we called them. I started having lunch with them and explaining to me anything. Then I asked them, I said, would you guys be prepared to help change the law? And I spent 6 months, once a week, just sitting down with them, and they bring material and explaining to me and about taxes, Long story short, when the debate came in Parliament, I was so well prepared to talk about taxes. The tax expert, Faroumetri, met me and said, but which university you study taxes? I said, there's one in St. Martin. It's called the Tax Committee. So go out and get the information from the experts. Okay, adapt it to yourself and use it.
Yeah, don't be afraid. I think a lot of parliamentarians forget that when you ask questions, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. There's nothing wrong with saying you don't know. There's nothing wrong with humbling yourself.
There's nothing wrong with asking questions.
There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Just go out and ask. I mean, if I got to pass a legislation on media, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come later, call you.
Call G, sit down, talk to G.
Yeah, sit down and talk, what you think, and those things. So don't be afraid, once you're elected, don't be afraid. Just keep your feet on the ground.
Stay humble.
Stay humble, and don't be afraid nor ashamed to go and ask somebody who knows something more than you. Go and ask them a question.
Right.
And that's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to grow.
Now, Marcel, what can you tell G that will convince him to go out on Monday and vote? Because he's saying he's not going to vote.
But he has to vote.
That's a good one, D.
Thank you, D.
You have to vote. You have to vote. You have to vote. Look at the world, man. I mean, look at what's happening. Look at Look at Europe. Look at the people fleeing, and because of dictatorships and all of that, The people in Syria and Iraq and all them places in Africa, I mean, they wish they could vote, and we here playing with it and saying we're not going to vote. You got to be sick, man. You go and vote. I'll come get you. I don't want to tell you who to vote for. And, if you don't...
I understand. People have died for us to vote, but also there's people have died to be able to run in politics. Like women couldn't be in politics, and blacks couldn't be in politics. And we have that power here in St. Martin where we can become a parliamentarian and they abuse it. We use it, abuse it, nothing gets done. And people like me, and there's a lot of people here today that are really frustrated, vexed, fed up.
Good point.
I mean, even you said you went to some of the rallies.
Yeah.
There's such low turnouts.
Yeah.
I have never seen so much vandalism in my life to posters election season.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
People are fed up.
Yes. They're fed
I
up.
understand. Go out and vote because we fought for that. But also, too, you look on the other hand, women couldn't run in politics. Blacks couldn't run in politics. And now we have the chance to do that, and we're abusing it.
Yeah. But I think go and vote, and if you're disappointed and who is there, you got a choice. There's new people. There's new people.
Exactly.
There's new parties. There's new people. There's new
That has
people.
kind of gotten me a little D to change my. I've had a couple of interviews with a couple of young, up and coming people, and you know what? They're making sense. They understand. They understand what's going on, and they want to change. But to contradict myself, you're only strong. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's a
no. I look. If you're doubting, sleep on it. And get up midnight, and I always do it. I go look in the mirror and talk to yourself in the mirror.
Just don't answer yourself back.
No, of course not.
Then you got a problem.
Yeah, but talk about it. Let me say this.
Like, what do you say when you look in the mirror? What do you say? Who's the sexy boy? Who's
No. You look in your eyes. You don't look.
Who's
you
your
don't,
daddy?
You
Who's
look,
the daddy?
you look in the eyes. Don't
to
look at your
the
face
mirror
and
for
then
that.
just look in the eyes and try to find your soul and your heart. You know. But let me say this. I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see the amount of young people that is involved, that is running, and people from let me put it this way: people from strong families, people from decent families, people that I know were brought up with some good character and good morals. So that gives me hope, And like I said. There's new parties, there's new candidates on all parties, go for them. You don't have. You see, the beauty is that you don't have to vote for whoever on the top. You can vote on the bottom, and you can vote on the bottom. In fact, if you're upset with what's going on, I mean, they got them on the bottom, they got some of them on the top too, but. Just go in the center. Take your time. Speaking of the talk, is voting. Voting is voting is a very special thing, because sorry. Take your time. Go inside and before you go to vote, read up and find out about the candidate and so.
Yeah, true.
But go in and vote and.
Just tell me who to vote for, honey, and I'm going to go. Simple as that. Just tell me.
Listen, speaking of upset, real quick, do you still talk to any, are you still friends or still talk to any of the Marcel 8?
I like that.
Are you still friends with the Marcel 8? You still talk to them?
The Marcel 8?
The Marcel,
Yeah.
The Marcel
I like
8.
that name.
Yeah, I like that.
The Super 8.
No.
Everything is good? We good?
Everybody
Oh,
cool.
the 8?
Yeah, the Marcel 8.
I don't see them.
Turcos, tranquilo.
I don't see
Oh, you
them.
don't see
You
them?
don't see them?
No, I don't see them.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I some of them I see at the reception.
Yeah.
Hello, but
Hi and bye. Okay.
no, but
All right. Just
no. I think all of them would understand one day that what I did I had to do,
I understand.
and they felt they had to do it, but we tend to forget what we put there for. That's
The main
people.
reason.
The main reason is for the people. But what to vote for? I don't know. I can't tell you who I'm going to vote for. I can tell you who I'm not voting for.
Marcel, hey.
I'm not voting definitely for those. I mean,
Okay.
But yeah, I think everybody, please go and vote. Take your time, get up early, go and vote, because if you don't vote, you'll have yourself to blame.
Sure.
Exactly.
And every vote counts.
Mm-hmm.
You know that?
That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Especially when there's a recount.
yeah, we saw that last. We saw that the last time.
Especially when there's a recount.
Every vote counts. I mean, so go out and vote, and let's hope and see what happens, and that we get a good turnout
All right.
on Monday, and then we'll see what happens, and we pray that those that get in would be the one strong that can withstand bullying, because the bullying doesn't have to be from inside.
Yeah, right. True.
The bullying can be from outside.
Mm-hmm.
You got certain businesses, interests,
Mm-hmm.
and they can get very demanding.
Private sector.
The private sector, and very bullying, but it all has to do with how you behave yourself and how you receive or take sponsorship for your campaign and all of that.
True.
Anytime a guy come offering you too much, be humble and say, that's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. Don't take it. But be strong. Be strong. Candidates, whoever gets elected, my advice would be to, you don't got time to read up now. You're busy campaigning, trying to convince people to vote. Continue doing that. If you get elected, the first week, start reading the rules of order, the Constitution, and then be strong. Don't tell whoever trying to bully you and tell you nonsense that you're a strong person, and that you can't be influenced, and that you got morals and you got character.
All right. Super.
Yeah.
Super.
Thank you very much, Marcel, and I'm sure you're open to anybody that's looking for advice. You're willing to give them advice as well.
Oh,
Unpaid advisor, right?
well, there's a lot of them out there, and at this stage. I mean, I've been given, to go back a bit in the past. There's some of them who, in the Super 8,
Marcel 8.
Marcel.
Marcel 8, that when they got elected to Parliament, even though they wasn't from my party, on a weekly basis they'll come with lists of questions. What do you think of this? How do you do this? And for the interest of St. Maarten, being in that big Parliament of the Netherlands Antilles, I freely give them advice. And continue to do that, because that's the way of contributing to the development of this country. We are a young country. We got a lot of things to do, a lot of development to go through. And again, just be humble, be strong, avoid the bullying, and do your work.
Now, will the JCI plan to do anything soon? I know.
I heard so, but I haven't. Let me big them up a bit. Great organization. Any young people between 18 and 40, join the JC's organization. You learn personal development, project management. That's where the political bug bit me, and it really makes a good person out of you.
All right.
It's not a service club, but all good Rotarians, good Lions, and good whatever came out to JC.
JC. All right.
Now, before you go, question of the day: who is your celebrity crush?
It could be international,
Yes,
local,
exactly.
Not trying to influence your vote, but I'm just saying.
Newspaper, TV, radio.
Tamron from the Today Show.
There you go.
Who's that?
Tamron.
Tamron. Oh, from Today
Oh,
Show.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
There you go. Good
That's why you're up early at 6 o'clock looking in the mirror. You're looking at Tamron.
Marcel, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. It was
Taking
fun.
time out of your busy schedule.
Great
I'm
talk.
sure you're still busy as well, running around.
Oh man, I'm doing a lot of things,
Yeah.
man. I'm going to be I'm studying now and reading up on raising ducks and chickens.
Oh, okay. Farmer Marcel.
No, but just that's a hobby. Now I'm busy with a whole lot of things. We're working very hard with the Chandler Rotisseur. That's my other passion. Restaurants, we got great restaurants in this country, and in a way promoting it, behind scenes. we're putting St. Martin. We're helping to do something in that area, and yeah, it's fun, you know.
Yeah.
Good food and good wine and good company.
Yeah. Now, you encourage a lot of young people to start getting involved in politics, and we've seen that. We've seen them postulating themselves. We've also seen a lot of young people be vocal on social media. They're awakening. They're becoming aware of what's going on. You know what goes on in politics. Now, you have some kids of your own. Would you ever let them or advise them to get into politics?
Well, you know what I mean. When you see them, ask them what daddy says.
What daddy says?
No. No, listen. I realize that you can't stop people from, you know, whatever they want to do. And in my book, and I brought up, the kids brought up like that, is that if you can make a contribution to your country, to humanity, I think that is so important, because at the end of the day, when judgment comes and when you're sitting down somewhere, you got to be able to say, well, my contribution to humanity was this, was that, and to my country, I did this and I did that, and you know that's important. Yeah. Otherwise, what are you here for?
You need to have a good report card.
Yeah, well, you got to have a report card. You got to have been here to do something. You should have done something when you were on this journey. You know, just don't lose it. Just don't flaunt it. You know, but it's important to do something. You know, and say, at the day, you know, I did this. You know, and that gives me pleasure. I've assisted in resocializing and rehabilitating some young people that end up in prisons, and every time I see them, I'm so proud, because, you know, and they know it, and they come up and they greet me, and you wouldn't know who they are, but they're there. Yeah. And I don't have to tell who they are, but you feel good that you have made a change in someone's life, and put them back on the right track. Right. And, you know, that stays there forever.
All right. And there you have it, former Prime Minister of St. Martin, Marcel Gumbs. Super Duppa Morning Show. We're way overtime, but it was a great talk. Yes. And it was great to have you here.
Feeds your mind and feeds your soul, man.
Yes, thanks. Definitely, for sure.
Thank you.
We got G Money up next, AM/PM Workload Show, followed by the cut creator DJ Outcast. And then Jenny fills in for Sagan. So make sure you keep it locked right here to the Laser 101, the station with the attitude. 4 more days to go. Yeah. The countdown until this madness is over.
Yes.
And did you get your voting card?
Yeah, I got it. Got it already, and we've been telling everybody, if you haven't gotten it
He's
yet,
walking with it.
if you haven't gotten your voting card as yet, go down to the civil registry and take care of that business.
They will be open on Saturday as well.
Oh, they will? Okay, so that's some good news. So they will be open on Saturday to handle that issue if you haven't gotten your voting card.
My compliments to that office. I mean, they've worked very hard in preparing for this, and kudos to them.
Yeah, for sure.
The girls and the boys at the Civil Registry.
Yeah.
Good morning, people.
We'll be back tomorrow from 7 to 10 doing this all over again. Tomorrow we have Priya from K1 Britannia. She's going to be joining us in the studio talking about a new project that they have coming up. Also, we have the organizers of the Ultimate Dance Party, which is going down this Saturday over there at Port de Plaisance. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Also, we're going to double up on the prize.
At 9.
And we got some nice gifts courtesy of Island Spirits to give away as well. And some goodies from the tourist office. So we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to not make it political. It's Friday. We're going to have a good time on the Super Duper Morning Show on tomorrow. All right? So keep it locked right here to Laser 101, the station with the attitude. G Money up next. D, leave us off with something nice and positive.
Walk slowly, but never walk backward. See you guys tomorrow. Love ya.